Sorry, Mr. Adams. This section is supposed to deal with allegations made by Kwanazi that you are part, I think, what does it say, of the cartel that you're
This is
being
as
used.
it's paginated here, ma'am.
Hey?
I'm reading it in the order it's coming.
No, I'm saying it's paragraph, page 50. The heading is Mkwanazi's claim that I am a hired gun for cartels.
Yes.
Yes, so you don't deal with the nature of the claim. What is the claim? What does he say? Why are you a hired gun? You just go right into a tender fraud matter.
No, we'll get there if you'll allow me to just
okay, but can you tell us what's the significance of mentioning the tender?
General Mkwanazi has said at the ad hoc committee that there are politicians that are working with cartels. He's only mentioned two politicians. It is myself and Honorable Diane Kola Barnard. So I don't know how Honorable Kola Barnard feels about that, but it is clear that he's alluding that it's me. So I am trying to explain to this commission here that the charges I laid were not my first rodeo. I'm going to give you numerous cases of fraud and corruption in the city of Cape Town while I was a sitting councillor that I laid. And I also want please commissioners, I want you to see how the NPA itself has held us back. It's in here if you'll just allow me to read it. I know it's a little bit long. Thank you. Sorry about that, Advocate. I do apologize.
You may proceed then.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the page now. Sorry about this, man.
You're not towards the end of 53.
There I am. Thank you, Commissioner Kumalo. I have been advised by a whistleblower that the report in question, the one the city manager is hiding, the forensic report, identifies approximately 343 million in irregular expenditure. I have not been provided with a lawful explanation as to why the report cannot be accessed. I have also opened a criminal case against Rhodium Construction relating to allegations that the company attempted to circumvent restrictions imposed upon the construction code by the city of Cape Town. The directors of Rhodium Construction, according to the information available to me, are the wives of Mr. Asif Khan and Abdul Karim Khan, the directors of the construction co, which is now before the court for fraud. Now, we've advised the city that this is fronting, that these are the wives of the people that are in court. The city has awarded them over 400 million rands worth of tenders. That case is currently under investigation. We have also brought the alleged irregularities to the attention of the Construction Industry Development Board. We wrote to the city manager and the mayor, but we have received no response in over 12 months. The criminal cases concerning the construction co have, in my view, been delayed and obstructed by the NPA. The Commercial Crimes Unit of SAPS has performed excellently in my view, in this investigation, but I believe that the NPA is attempting to derail this matter. The complainant in the case, Mr. Hanif Lunat, and I have attempted for more than 4 years to obtain a meeting with Advocate Esmeralda Johnson, who has steadfastly refused to meet with us. So I'm going to shorten this because it is lengthy. These people are accused, Chief. I mean, we've given SAPS hard information that these people have defrauded the city of Cape Town of hundreds of millions of rand. They are charged with 2.5 million. The NPA, in our view, is preparing these people for a slap on the wrist, when in actual fact 15 years is the prescribed sentence. Now, we've been asking for 4 years for the prosecutor to meet with us to make us understand how you've shrunk this case to 2.5 million, and she refuses to meet. We have emailed Marlene Governor, Nicolette Bell, to explain to us. They refuse to answer. And we take this seriously because this is our staircase budget that has been stolen. We want these people convicted properly if they have indeed committed these crimes, but we want our money back so our communities can be developed. The NPA refuses to assist us. Advocate Nicolette Bell has not responded to our request for assistance for a period of approximately 3 years. Please say FAA 14. We have emailed, not me, Hanif Lunat has emailed Advocate Mop. I think that might have been 4 months ago. He's the new head of the NPA in our area. He's not responded either. Mr. Lunat and I have gone to the extent where we've laid criminal charges against the NPA for defeating the ends of justice because they are derailing these cases. I have attached the affidavit presented to SAPS by Mr. Lunat. The affidavit is attached as Annexure FAA15. The one point where I can agree with Lieutenant General Mukwanazi is that political influence can play a role in criminal cases being set up to fail. Had it not been for the tenacity of Mr. Lunat and to a lesser degree myself, I believe that the construction co and the persons involved in this conduct would have escaped accountability 4 years ago. Commissioner, they've been before the court for 4 years for fraud. They haven't played yet. That's the game the NPA is playing with us in this case. We are at every court appearance for the last 4 years, every month. They still haven't played. They've had to appear before the court on one day. I can get you the date. And what happened on the day is the accuser's not in front of the judge, but the case gets, but they get given another date. We can't understand what's happening here. I'm going to move straight to the end of page 58 because we have laid charges against fleet management. I have also, it is according to the Democratic Alliance Councillor, Mrs. Deirdre de Vos, and Mayoral Council Member for Housing and Deputy Federal Executive Chairperson, Mr. Karl Papheim, that an attempt on my life was made by Alderman J.P. Smith, the head of safety and security in the city of Cape Town. It is alleged by, let me rather give you the back end of the story. I think it's going to be easier, Chairperson. I was coming from Madlanga, I think it was in June of last year, when I got a phone call from then Councillor Papheim, who would later become the MACO member for housing. And he said to me, Fadiel, wherever you are, stay indoors. And I asked him why. I said, I'm a big boy. He said, no, JP, I can't repeat what he said. I said, Carl, what's happening? Because Mr. Papheim and I are cordial. He said to me, JP tried to have you killed. I said, why? He said, no, Deirdre called me now. He says, Deirdre is a bit slow. So she did what JP told her to do and realized afterwards, and then she called me for advice. I said, what happened? He said, JP Smith, I think he's the Deputy Federal Chairperson of the DA, he sent a newly elected Councillor, Deirdre de Vos, to Manenberg to go and speak to a former gang boss who does work for the city of Cape Town and tell him that Fadiel is meddling. We're going to have to cancel your contracts. Being as dilly as Deirdre de Vos is, she went to the gang boss. And I think his reaction, it sparked a little bit of intelligence in her because she called Karl Papheim. I have a screenshot of the conversation which I only obtained this morning because it was with commercial crimes. I didn't know where else it was because that device is no longer with me. And I called Councillor de Vos and I recorded the conversation. I also called Mr. Faik Moses, the former gang boss, and he said to me, they wanted me to kill you, but I will not be used. Because, Chief, if you have a perception of me as a gangster, a violent man, a drug dealer, a killer, and you tell me that someone is threatening my money, you can assume which way I'm going to react. And this is what Alderman J.P. Smith did according to his own councillors. I, sir, called Faik Moses. I lodged an inquiry. The inquiry number is 1/6/2025. The Commercial Crimes Unit took this case. They took the screenshot where Karl Papheim and Deirdre de Vos are having a conversation where it's confirmed that they tried to have Fadiel killed. They've got a statement from Mr. Faik Moses saying, yes, I do get the impression that they wanted me to hurt this man. They've got a 3-minute or 4-minute recording of Deirdre de Vos speaking to me, not denying that this is what happened. In Cape Town, they cannot get a warrant on that basis. I don't know what not a warrant, a search and seizure, because SAPS wanted their phones to see if the communication was real. They can't get a warrant. So fighting corruption in the city of Cape Town means that next time I walk into Manenberg, there's a bullet waiting for me. And again, this is the NPA, and the magistrate saying we won't issue a warrant on the basis. And someone at Commercial Crimes told me, we can't understand this, we've gotten warrants with 10%. 10% of what you've given us. So when General Mkwanazi makes the assertion that I am a hired gun because I laid charges, I need you to understand, Chief Commissioner, that this is something I've been doing for years. That where I see possible corruption, I will report the crime and step off. And on my phone, I actually saw now the other day, one of my cases, I got a response from SAPS, there's no merit to the case, I'm sorry, we've got an Ollie prosecute. I'm okay with it. I'm not here to make the decision. I'm saying, please look into this. That's all I'm asking. So, fighting corruption, in my view, is not safe. I asked the Commission to listen to Annexure FAA16. It is in support of my allegation that Carl Popheim and Deirdre de Vos alleged that JP Smith tried to have me killed. So, when Lieutenant General Mkwanazi claims that Fadiel Adams or the NCC are hired guns for criminal cartels, the criminal cases that I have opened at great risk to myself, because I know who I'm dealing with. Because you have to remember, the city of Cape Town is the municipality that is notorious for giving big tenders to gang bosses. That's who you're fighting when you report these things. This is the risk we take. So for me to be labeled a hired gun or a conduit for cartels or whatever it is that's going on in General Mkwanazi's head, I take offense to it. Because I, as a nothing, in my view, have done more than he has about crime that he's known about. He's happy to come and sit here and talk about it, but not once has he followed procedure, which is what both the MIS document and the Constitution require of any civic-minded citizen of this country.
Do you want to then go to 485 on page 59?
85.
I thought that's what he had just covered.
Yes.
Yes.
So then I will continue to fight for justice. Are you on 60 now?
I think I'm just being a little bit dramatic with 487, advocate. So if you'll excuse me with that, I think I'm done with that.
I think you've said it already. Yes. 60.
Page 60.
Events leading to my arrest.
The events leading to my arrest and the institution of criminal proceedings. This chapter deals with the sequence of events that culminated in my arrest and the institution of criminal proceedings against me. I include these matters because they form part of the factual chronology relevant to the Commission's term of reference and my interactions with the PKTT, and not for the purpose of inviting the Commission to determine my criminal liability or innocence. At the outset, I want to emphasize that the criminal proceedings instituted against me remain pending before the competent court, and therefore I can only say so much. I fully respect the authority of the court to determine the charges in accordance with the law. Nothing contained in the statement should be understood as asking to litigate those proceedings before this Commission or to prejudice the administration of justice. Prior to my arrest, I became aware of information suggesting that members of the PKTT were considering criminal action against me. The precise source of that information is dealt with later in the statement. Upon receiving that information, I did not seek to evade law enforcement authorities or frustrate any lawful investigation. Rather, I instructed my legal representatives to engage with the relative authorities in order to establish whether a warrant had in fact been issued, the nature of the allegations, and the legal process that would be followed. So, on or about the 9th of April 2026, correspondence was addressed on my behalf to Lieutenant General Mkwanazi, the acting National Commissioner, I think it was Masimola, of the SAPS, and the acting Minister of Police, Minister Kachalia. Please see Annexure FAA7. So, in that correspondence, it was recorded that I had become aware of reports suggesting that a warrant of arrest either existing or was being sought against me. I just want to expand just on that just a little bit. I got a phone call from a gentleman claiming to be a friend of the hitman of Sindisi Magaka. He told me that the PKTT had been there to see his friend and they wanted incriminating evidence against me. My response was, I've done nothing. He said, I've been told to call you. I asked him, where did you get this number? He refused to say, because it was a new number. He refused to say. I then what I did then, as explained after this, I expressly indicated that I indicated to General Mkwanazi, General Masimola, and the Minister of Police that should a lawful warrant be issued, I was willing to cooperate with the authorities and present myself through the appropriate legal channels. The purpose of that correspondence was quite straightforward. My legal representatives sought clarity concerning the legal basis for any contemplated arrest, the jurisdiction in which this matter arose, and the identity of the investigating authority. We also sought to avoid the unnecessary deployment of operational resources where my cooperation had already been offered. Despite these attempts taken, no substantive response was received before operational steps were taken. So what I'm trying to say here, Chairperson and Commissioners, is that I'm sending an email to what I regard as 3 of the top people in law enforcement in the country. I'm saying to them, it's come to my attention that there may be an attempt to arrest me. So all I want to say to you is please don't send men with guns to my house. I'm putting it on record that if there's a warrant, I will present myself to the nearest police station, and here's my attorney on record. That is the email that I sent. That is the annexure. That is F7. The first response that I get to that email is after the PKTT hit the wrong house when they're trying to arrest me. It is common cause insofar as I understand the events that members of the PKTT subsequently arrived at my previous residential address in an effort to execute the warrant. By that stage, my willingness to cooperate had been communicated to the relevant authorities. Following those events, further communication took place between my legal representatives and members of the SAPS. The communication did not resolve the concerns that had been raised regarding the execution of the warrant, the jurisdictional issues involved, or the procedural steps that would be followed. These concerns are dealt with more fully in subsequent chapters in the statement. Please see Annexure FAA18.
Okay.
So, just so that you know, Commissioners, on the morning that it hits the news that the PKTT have hit the wrong house, this is using the best crime intelligence we have, General Mkwanazi responds to my email dated, I can give you the date. And General Mkwanazi says, as you know, I almost know it by heart, I've now been given a national task. So I'm not all that clued up with the PKTT. So when I asked the prosecutor earlier, he told me that there was no warrant. It's since come to my attention that there is a warrant. So I'm giving you this emailed order to interact with Mr. Adams' legal counsel. That is the gist of the email. My lawyer contacts the head of the PKTT, the operational head at the time, Lieutenant Colonel, I think it's Majitila, and is unable to receive any information. Not what is the charges, what is the jurisdiction, where are you taking him? Nope, he must hand himself over. I say to my lawyer, Shahid, is this procedure? He said, this is not normal. I said, what do we do? He said, well, we have the option of going to court to force the warrant out of them because they won't give us any information. We do so. The High Court grants me relief. The High Court says, hand Mr. Adams the warrant and the supporting documents that you used to obtain it. They ignore the High Court order. They proceed with the arrest. When they eventually comply, this is after we go back to court, they give us the supporting document, and it's in the, we'll get there, I'm just jumping the gun. The supporting document can't be read. That's how the PKTT operates. But we will get there, and I'm sure I will be questioned on this. An example of collusion between General Mkwanazi and Lieutenant General Kumalo. It should say alleged collusion. Before this commission, Lieutenant General Kumalo swore under oath that Mr. Stuart Sharnik is a serial hijacker